We went back through every WWE 2K game ever to find out what was the best patch addition in each game. We're going to go through WWE 2K16 until WWE 2K24, because WWE 2K14 and 15 didn't have enough information about what was added through patches. From what we could find, it was pretty much all fixes rather than gameplay additions. So with that being said, let's jump right into WWE 2K16. But quickly, before we do that, make sure you're all subbed with notifications turned on so you don't miss a new video. Don't forget to also like the video if you do end up enjoying it. WWE 2K16 Paint Color Change. Starting with WWE 2K15, we could now edit superstars in limited amounts of ways, like changing their attire, for example. It was an upgrade from superstar threads that we had prior, which was locked to just being able to change the color of attires. However, there was one thing that superstar threads had in WWE 2K15 and then WWE 2K16 beat on. It allowed us to change the color of face paints for wrestlers who had face paint. So back in SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, for example, we could give Jeff Hardy all kinds of different face paint color variations that we wanted. In 2K15 and 16 though, not possible at all. It became especially disappointing when WWE 2K16 featured the debut of Finn Balor, which also included the Demon persona. As we all know, the Demon is known for the different variations in colour that Finn Balor uses. This was completely impossible to change in WWE 2K16 at launch, and fans were, as expected, super disappointed. However, 2K heard the complaints on this one, and via a patch, support was added for face paint color editing when editing superstars with face paint. No longer were you locked to one design for Finn Balor's Demon. A solid addition to the game, rather than adding it to the next one as a brand new feature. Before we get into WWE 2K17, let's first send it over to Matt with today's sponsor.
There are a lot of people in my house, and because of that, everybody wants to stream and watch something different at any given time, from their phones to their tablets to their computers. Even on the big screen, they want to be able to stream Netflix. But the problem is so much of the content we have already seen, so it gets a little bit dull. That's where Surfshark comes in and saves the day. Because you may have noticed that in other countries, some of the shows that are on Netflix, it's a little bit better selection over there. So with Surfshark, it allows you to access and unblock the streaming services you want. You simply pick a server, you connect, and you're good to go with your stream. You can discover a wide range of streaming platforms, watching all different kinds of content from all different countries, and it's easily done, all from the comfort of your phone. You can change your virtual location at any time when you connect to another country. For me, safety, security, and privacy is extremely important, and Surfshark is great with that because it allows you to protect your VPN, your Wi-Fi. You can stay private and secure in public Wi-Fi networks. A VPN keeps your location and download history private. It encrypts it so that you don't have to worry about anything when you are sending or receiving files. If you're traveling, you can access your bank at any time very safely and securely. Surfshark is also unlimited for the amount of devices that are connecting to the VPN. And additionally, Surfshark offers other things like antivirus and alerts right to your devices for security and privacy. Check out Surfshark today and you'll get a 30-day money-back guarantee. Thank you to Surfshark for supporting the channel, and now back to the video.
2K17 Manual Chain Wrestling. One of the more divisive features in WWE 2K era of WWE games has got to be the chain wrestling system. Some people loved it as it added the simulation that WWE 2K series was trying to capture, and some people hated it because it took them out of the match, felt like it went on way too long, and was annoying when it automatically happened. WWE 2K16 and 17 improved chain wrestling by making it less demanding than WWE 2K15's version, where you had to start a match with chain wrestling if you lock up at the start. Though it was more random when it would happen in the match, this change would not be so welcome by players who loved chain wrestling and wanted it to happen when they wanted it to happen. So a compromise was made via a WWE 2K17 patch. If you don't want chain wrestling, you don't need to ever see it again. If you want chain wrestling, however, there's now a manual prompt that you need to click and you'll be guaranteed a chain wrestling sequence in your match. You have to press, in the case of for the PS4 players, R1 and X, and you'll get the chain wrestling sequence you were looking for. It's a small addition to WWE 2K17 via a patch, but it was a much needed addition to appease both sets of players. And then the chain wrestling fans got completely pushed aside when the entire feature was removed in 2K22 onwards. WWE 2K18 Great Balls of Fire. WWE 2K18 was the first WWE game ever to include an arena via a free patch. We had arena DLC in the past, like WCW Nitro and NXT and SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, but never have we had arenas being added for free just by clicking download on a new patch. No, this was something completely new and very much welcomed. When WWE 2K18 launched in October 2017, there was a genuine lot of speculation and wondering why the Great Balls of Fire 2017 arena had not been included in the game. Did it miss the cutoff date? As the pay-per-view had only happened in July that year? Or could the arena have been locked in some kind of legal issues due to the name, with it only being allowed as pay-per-view and not allowed in the games? Well, it was found in the game files that the assets for the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view were actually in the game, and the arena was locked away for most players, which made it look like the arena just never got the approval to be included. That was changed, however, when a patch dropped that included the Great Balls of Fire arena as a selectable stage when playing a match in WWE 2K18. This wouldn't be the last time that we get a free arena patch in WWE 2K, as you'll see later on. WWE 2K19 Undisputed Era Stuff. WWE 2K19 was a bit lighter on what was given via patches, with a lot of the additional post-launch content being tied to DLC purchases. We'll talk more about that in a future video coming to the channel, so make sure you don't miss that one. Anyway, WWE 2K19 wasn't really filled with much, but something which was definitely appreciated by players of 2K19 was the additional entrances for the Undisputed Era. When Undisputed Era was being added into WWE 2K19 during development, it was with just the 3 original members in mind: Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. That means Roderick Strong, who would join the group later on in 2018, was not factored into those plans, and at launch, he wasn't very undisputed at all. That would change, however, in a later 2K19 patch, as 2K added a new entrance and victory motions for Roderick Strong that would suit his current Undisputed Era gimmick that he had. Both singles and a tag team motion were added when teaming with Kyle O'Reilly. Undisputed Era was a big thing at the time of 2K19's October 2018 release, so this was a great addition to the game and it just made it more up to date overall. Easily the best patch addition in WWE 2K19. WWE 2K20. Pretty much no limits on weapons upgrading the flaming table. With WWE 2K20, we're going to kind of cheat here by including 2, as both can kind of be included, as they're both about weapons. It'll make sense soon. We'll get there. So in a WWE 2K20 post-release patch, there were 2 major updates to weapons that, honestly, no one really expected at all. It felt like patches were going to focus on trying to make the game that was a dumpster fire release full of bugs and glitches an actual somewhat working video game. So it was a huge shock when patches started to drop and players were noticing that they were even adding in brand new features to make the game better. One of these features being the removal of limits on weapons you could add to the weapon wheel when customizing a match. Prior to the match, you were only allowed 1 of each weapon, but after the patch, you weren't limited whatsoever. This meant if you wanted to use up all 6 slots on just tables, you could do that now. Want 6 ladders? Not a problem. The second part of this, as we mentioned earlier, is that the table fire effects were also improved in WWE 2K20. After 10 years of keeping the same goofy looking fire effects, 2K20 finally changed it to look way more realistic. So yeah, pick 6 tables and get 6 realistic looking flaming tables now! WWE 2K22 NXT 2.0. As mentioned earlier with WWE 2K18, another game in the 2K series also added an arena completely free via a patch. That game being WWE 2K22. Like WWE 2K18, many players noticed that NXT 2.0 was a glaring omission from the game at launch. The revived version of NXT had debuted in September 2021, with WWE 2K22 releasing in March 2022. Many players had felt that the arena would make the cut-off, but unfortunately it didn't at launch. However, the good news for players was that they didn't have to wait for long for the arena to be included in the game. as the first major patch for WWE 2K22 would include the brand new NXT 2.0 arena completely for free. You just downloaded the patch and then there it was, all ready to be used. WWE 2K22 had some nice additions to the game via patches, but we feel like an entire arena which could easily be passed off as paid DLC is the best kind of patch, and it's in WWE 2K22. WWE 2K23 updating Sami Zayn. When WWE 2K23 released in March 2023, Sami Zayn was the hottest superstar in wrestling by far. His character development in the Bloodline, along with his eventual face turn and being against the Bloodline, made him huge around the time of 2K23's release. 2K, knowing this, tried to keep Sami Zayn up to date as much as possible. They managed to get his attire up to date when the game launched, but two things were clearly missing in the full 2023 babyface Sami Zayn presentation. The commentary team would still treat him as the pre-Bloodline heel, and he had his old theme rather than his original Worlds Apart theme that was brought back when he turned face. In eventual patches, these were both changed. The commentary team would be updated to talk about Sami's time in the Bloodline and how he's moved past them, along with adding the Worlds Apart theme to the game. The last one was quite a surprise, as WWE 2K had very rarely added new themes as part of a free patch, with most new themes being added via DLC characters added to the game. It wasn't like WWE 2K23's post-launch support was lacking enough to make Sami the clear winner. No, not at all. 2K23 also added tired finishers back into the game via a post-launch patch. An easy winner in most cases, but the Sami Zayn updates just manages to take the victory for us. 2K24. New entrances. And with WWE 2K24, we're going to go with the amount of entrances that have been added post-launch via patches. No other WWE 2K game has added this many brand new entrance motions into the game. Not even close. We've counted 10 new motions that got added via patches. Just to be clear, this is for people already in the game and not DLC superstar entrance motions. We've had everything from single motions, tag motions, and even new championship motions for people like Io Sky and Roman Reigns. For how many have been added via patches, the new entrance motions have to be the best patch addition in WWE 2K24.